So this is the project for our data structure implementations. And do you know one cool trick about Git? If you can press the dot button from your keyboard when you are present inside a project, just click it. I just click dot button and see GitHub is setting up one code editor for us. Here we can quickly access the files, which files is present and what is the content of that file. Isn't it beautiful? How clever this is. Let me show you once again. We are going to one another project this time. Let's say I take you to one of my open source library, Easy Analytics. Okay. And if I want to see this inside our project editor or maybe inside our IDE, GitHub has one very cool trick. Just press dot and see GitHub is setting up one code editor for us. You can see that it is setting up one VS Code directly inside GitHub website, and then our project will be shown here. We can access any of our file from our project. Just go to the source main Java. See, all of our files are present. We can open the file, we can check what resources we have in these files, right? Isn't it beautiful? We can access all the file inside our application, inside this editor. See how beautiful this is, right? So this is very cool trick and one of my favorite trick whenever you want to access any file inside your project. So basically we can find the file with this go to file. But instead of this, why not just open the entire project inside a editor? Just press dot and GitHub will set up one code editor for us and we can access any file inside our project. Okay, now let's start today's video. Hello everyone, welcome to Native Mobile Bits. Today I am going to make one interesting video where I am going to show you how to use Git effectively. And I am making this video specifically on Git because I have seen multiple developers, they don't use Git via terminal. There are two ways to use Git. Okay, one which you should use ideally, you should use Git via terminal. But there is one another way as well. There are several Git UI client. In those Git clients, you no need to write any Git command. You can simply just play with some UI interface and you can commit your code, you can pull the changes, you can push your changes. All of the things you can do with the help of some UI application. If you will ask a developer community how you should use Git, most of the people will say that if you can use terminal, that's the best thing. Let me show you some GUI clients. Okay, so these are the applications which people can use to push their changes or do anything they want on Git. Popular ones are GitHub Desktop, and you can see that if they make any changes in the project, it will show that there are changes in 6 files, and then they can just commit or push the code directly from here. But we are not going to focus on these clients in this video. I am going to show you how you can use Git via terminal. And if you are an Android developer, Android Studio also has the inbuilt terminal which you can use to perform GitHub commands. Okay, so you must be thinking that what is this terminal? So if you are using Windows machine, so in Windows you have something called command prompt, right? The same thing is known as terminal inside Mac. So we can just access this with the help of this terminal. Okay, this is the terminal window and we can write some commands here and we can interact with our computer. Okay, either it can be Git command or it can be normal commands as well. For example, we can write ls and it will just list all the files or folder present at this location. So let's get back to why we need Git. Okay, so before that, let me show you that we are making different project in all of these videos, right? So if you open any of these videos, for example, let's say we open this video. So I add some code link, right? I add that you can download the code from here. But how you can get the code from here actually? So I will show you how you can get the code from any GitHub repository. So if you want to access any of the code which we develop at our channel, so you can directly go to the GitHub from here. We will come to the GitHub page. Let's say you want to clone this project in your system. I will show you the easiest step first. So you can open Android Studio and then you can click on this get from VCS, okay, and you can open any repository on GitHub and then you can click here, you can copy this and then you can go back to your Android Studio. You can just type the URL. This is a GitHub URL, okay, and then we can create one folder at desktop maybe, or we can give any location here. Let's say we want to create on desktop, GitHub dummy projects slash, okay, and we can name this project here. So this will create one folder basically, and then we can click on this clone, okay. So it's downloading the project inside our system. So if you also want to use this project in your system, you can clone this way and then you can click on this trust project, okay. So our project is downloaded. But let's go back to our desktop. Is it really downloaded inside our system? Yes, you can see that this folder GitHub dummy projects, inside this we have one new project downloaded from our GitHub login UI app, and all of the files are cloned here. Another popular way is to use terminal, as I was showing you. So we can open the terminal window, okay, we can go to that path. So where we are right now, we are inside user repository, so we need to go to the desktop. So we can just use this command cd desktop, okay, and we are allowing it. Then inside desktop we have that folder, okay, we created just now, GitHub dummy projects. So we can just go to that folder using this. Then as we have already one project cloned here inside this GitHub dummy project, let's clone one another project. We can go back to this, okay, and we created this application. In this video we have created one project, so let's download this one this time. So just copy the URL, go to the terminal, okay, and here we can write git clone, we can write that URL and it will start cloning the project, okay. If you just go back to that folder, you will see that one another project is downloaded, okay. So we can download using git clone. So this is basically we are cloning the project from GitHub, so that is the command saying git clone. Now let's push our code to GitHub. So we have created multiple projects, but recently I created one project. I did not push that project because I wanted to show you how we can push our project to GitHub. Recently we created one project inside this intent video. So I have not pushed that because I wanted to show you how we can push our project on GitHub, okay. So let's open this project. I have opened this in Android Studio. So this is our terminal, okay. So whenever you open the project, at the bottom side we have this button terminal. So if we click on this, we have one terminal opened for us, okay. Inside this terminal we can write GitHub commands. So right now if we write git here, so it is showing that you can use GitHub like this and that, but there is no GitHub folder as of now, okay, because this is not a GitHub project yet. We have not created any repo for this as of now, okay. So we can go back to our GitHub to create a new repo. Repo means where our project will be hosted, okay. So we can push our code and then someone, if they want to work on the same project, they can pull that project and then they can also commit in that project, okay. So GitHub is kind of a DevOps tool where we can work together with a lot of people. They can also develop some feature, they can push their code, then we can take that code, and we can also develop some feature, they can also take that code, okay. So we can create one new repository for our project, and let's take the project name. So we can just go to Android manifest and we can take app name intents in Android. You can give any name here, okay. You can add little bit of description if you want, but for now we are not adding it and we are keeping it public. We can make this as private as well, and we are creating this repository. Now GitHub shows few steps to us. basically these are GitHub commands. So we need to use these commands. Okay. So the first step is we need to initialize the GitHub repo. So to do that, we need to use git init. Okay. So let's go back, and inside our Android Studio terminal, we are writing git init. Okay. So this is saying initialize git repository. So this is basically one empty GitHub repository is initialized inside our project. Okay. The next command is we are adding one readme file. If we want to add a readme, we can use this command, but if not, we are not going to use this. Okay. Now let's see git status. So git status will show us the status of our project. What are the files which are not added and which are deleted. Basically, what are the file status inside our project. So these are the files we have. Okay. So multiple files are there. Inside app folder we have multiple things. But in this step we are going to push all of these files at a single step. Then in next step I will show you how we can add files one by one. Okay. So we want to add all the files, so we can just do git add, or let's say if we want to add one file or one folder, right? So we can just copy that. We can write here. So if we will do git status again, we will see that these files are added, which are showing up in green. Okay, red files are still not yet added. So for now we want to add all the files, so we can use git add dot. We will see git status, all the files are added. Then we can commit all of these files. Commit is basically what changes we are going to make. Okay, so basically we made few changes, we added few files. Now we want to write one message, what we are doing in this step. Okay, so we are writing one message pushing all the files to git. Okay, and then if we want to see what was the commit which we made, so we can use this command git show name status. It will show that this is our commit. Okay, these are the files we added. We can quit and then we can push the project to GitHub. But before pushing, we need to add one address where we want to push. So we need to take this. Okay, this is basically we are adding remotely, and this is the path. This is the path of our repo. Okay, we will push. We have added this origin. Now we can push the project. Okay, so initially GitHub used to have this master as the base branch, but now GitHub has changed that and GitHub has base branch as main. But I still like the master as the base branch. Okay, so we have pushed this. Now there are not so many files remain, and if we go to our project here and refresh our project, so we will see that all of the files are here. Okay, we have made one commit recently pushing all the files to git. Okay, so these files we have added which was in our project, and now everything is hosted on GitHub. Okay, and if someone want to clone this project now, so they can just take this, copy. Let's say this time we do this with terminal. So right now we are in GitHub. I think we are in the same path, so we can just use open. So we are inside this folder GitHub dummy projects. Okay, here let's say we want to clone our intent project which we just did, so we can use git clone, and we need this path. Okay, this one, and we can just paste this here, and it will start cloning our project in the given directory. Okay, we can see that intent is in Android. This project is also cloned here. Okay, let's clear this. Let's close this project. Let's close this folder. Now let's close our Android Studio and open IntelliJ. Okay, so recently I started data structure series at our channel, so you can see this playlist. Let's go back to home. this playlist, data structure for Android developers, and today I pushed this video, stack data structures using Kotlin. We are implementing full stack class and its functionality on our own. So I have not pushed this project also on GitHub. Okay, this is the project. You can check out the video and these files as well. So we implement all of the functionality and with some interface, and then we implement this class as well, and then we use this class inside our examples. Okay, so now I want to push this on GitHub so that when you watch this video and you want to use the code, you can fetch this code from my GitHub. Okay, so how we can do that? We can go to terminal. IntelliJ is built by JetBrains, and this is similar to Android Studio. Here also we have terminal. Okay, so if we do here git status, there is no git repository as of now, so we need to create one project, right? We can come here, we can click on this, we can click on new repository, and we can take the project name again. What is the project name? Kotlin DSA. So we can write Kotlin DSA. Okay, we can create one repository. We are keeping this public so that everyone can access this. We are going to initialize the GitHub repository, so we are going to use git init. Okay, we can do the same thing with terminal also. So we can increase the size a little bit. Now we can take the project path from here. We can copy this path, okay, from root, this absolute path. Now we can come to the terminal. We can just go to that same path. Now we are inside the project. We can check the files also. Okay, these are the files we have. Now let's initialize GitHub repo here, git init. So our initialized GitHub repository is ready. Okay, now the next step is we need to check what files we have. Okay, these files are right now not yet added. These are the untracked files. Okay, so let's add one by one. So let's say we want to add the Gradle properties first. So we can just use git add Gradle properties like this. Now let's clear this and let's again use git status. So we have one file as green. That means this file is added and these files are not yet tracked. So let's add all these files related to Gradle. Then we are going to add this as well. Okay, so these files are added. Now let's add this Gradle folder as well. Add this as well. Add this as well. All Gradle related files are added. Now we are going to add this as well. And that's it. Others we will add next time. So let's add commit message. Gradle related files are added. Okay, and we can see the last commit like this. Now let's say I want to update this commit message, right? So what I can do, one thing is either I can revert this commit and then commit again, but for that we need to add these files also again. But if we want to just update the commit message, we can just use git commit amend and then m, and then maybe I want to update this to project Gradle related files are added. Okay, so now if I will check the commit, say project Gradle related files are added, our commit is updated. Then we need to take the origin and we are going to add this repository path here, and then we can check the status. Okay, some files are added. Let's push these files. Let's refresh our page, GitHub page. So we can see that one commit is present, project Gradle related files are added. Okay, now let's say we want to add these build file as well. we want to add this settings file as well. Let's add this also. Settings Gradle files are added, and we can push this as well. Let's see if there are a new commit. Yes. And now we are only having source file remaining. Now let's see what files we have inside our IntelliJ source. So we have main, our stack and main, right? So let's say we want to add this interface first. So we can copy the path. We can come here and we can add only one file. So now we can see these files are remaining. Okay, our interface is added. So we can just commit our stack interface implementation is added, and we can commit this. Okay, and we can just see our new commit is having our stack interface. Okay, this one. Now we want to push other files. So if we refresh here, now in our IntelliJ also it is showing the same structure as per our terminal. So we can come back to IntelliJ, and now if you want to push these files as well, let's push this file one by one. So first of all, let's add this. So this is basically our stack class. If you see, this is our stack class. So we can just add stack class is implemented in this commit. Okay, and we can push this to master. Okay, now only one file is remaining. This is our example file. So we can add this as well, and we can commit. Our examples are implemented in this commit. Okay, and we can push this also to master. Okay, now if we do git status, all of the files are pushed to master. Okay, if we go to Kotlin DSA, we will see all of the project files are present here. We have these two files inside a stack folder. We have these two files, and we have one example. Here also we have one example. So that's it for today's video, guys. I hope I shared something valuable with you today. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. I'm working really hard and I am trying to build Native Mobile Bits, your Android library. We are going to learn every possible Android concept at Native Mobile Bits, and we are also going to learn data structures using Kotlin. So stay tuned. I am sharing one video daily at a time. So I am sharing content in both of these playlists, Learn Android Application Development and Data Structures for Android. So stay tuned and please show some love and support my channel, and please subscribe to my channel. I will see you in the next video.